Okay, well, look, we've got a man on the ground at the World Cup, and what a good man to have. An all-rounder and a powerhouse at that, and one of the co-hosts of the Cricketers Network, Jimmy Neesham from Colombo. How's it going?
Ben, yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, great, mate. It's a nice looking hotel room you got there.
Yeah, no, it's a very nice new hotel in the middle of Colombo. The lads have been enjoying I suppose, the hospitality since we moved over from India. So it's, I suppose, a quirk of the competition where we've got all three of our games in Colombo during the Super 8. So we've been able to settle in pretty well into the hotel, and the guys are in good spirits.
Yeah, I mean, that's been kind of a good thing about the competition so far. The only time you've really had to move to play a game, you lost.
Yeah, true. I mean, that was probably South Africa had I suppose the same thing we have here. They were in a Metabed for a good portion of their comp, so yeah, they had the advantage of those conditions, and yeah, a bit of a hiccup, I suppose, in that game. But I think the format of the tournament, allows for you to have one loss in the group stage and still make it through. So yeah, it is what it is. Everyone starts on the same number of points in the Super Eights.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at the positives from that game. You got a bat.
Yes, yeah, it has been mentioned. It has been mentioned, obviously, with Mitchie taking a bit more of a senior role and wanting to go up the order one more spot. I'm sort of just chilling down the bottom there, but yeah, no, I'm more than happy to accommodate the senior players and the team kind of doing what they want, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, but we will probably get an opportunity towards the back end. When the pressure's on, and I suppose that's when you want your experienced guys to sort of be coming in down the bottom of the order to try and finish games off.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's we've really stacked our batting. I mean, it's almost a bit of a boast to say we've got Jimmy Neesham at eight. I mean, how does it make you feel though?
No, it's fine. That's part of the gig as an all rounder, I guess, is just sort of doing what the team needs. And I think with all the franchise cricket, the different teams that you go into every few months, and different teams are going to have different personnel, obviously. So you have to get real used to, I suppose, changing your game and trying to fit in, where's best. And I think that's probably one of my strengths is being able to, I suppose, occupy different roles. Sometimes third seamer, sometimes batting six, and sort of anywhere in between. So yeah, very happy to do it. It's yet to be dismissed in the World Cup, which is a silver lining. So we'll try to
Good,
hold
it's
on to
good.
that for a while yet.
Yeah, I think you should play for your average for the rest of the World Cup. Actually, see if you just bat out
Well,
those last few balls.
yeah, well, it's been noted in a couple of other teams there are guys that are going down that route. So yeah, hopefully we've got enough team balance and team unity that it doesn't come down to everyone just batting for their stats.
Now, Colombo takes a bit of spin. Are you likely to play this next game? Or you probably can't say, but it's definitely going to be a different makeup of the side, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I definitely can't say. Well, I mean, we managed to get a toss in the other night, so we got to look at the team, and I was in that one. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's different conditions for sure. Definitely more spin friendly, and we had a look at the wicket last night. It's sort of been under covers a little bit, so it's a bit hard to say sort of what it's going to be like. But yeah, generally throughout the whole tournament here in Colombo and also up in Pallekele as well in Sri Lanka, spin has taken more of a front seat than in India. So yeah, East Sodi's fizzing as he always is,
Yeah.
and yeah, hopefully our spinners can go out and take the workload off our seamers.
Yeah, well, Cole McConkey called in, basically walks off the plane and onto the field. How was he, being thrust in the deep end like that?
Yeah, he's a good man. Cole is obviously coming pretty ready. Canterbury did well in the Super Smash at home, and that's I suppose the advantage of having a home tournament like that going on. At the same time as a T20 World Cup is as any guys that you have to call in I suppose T20 hardened. And yeah, unfortunately, Mitchie was down with a stomach bug for the game against Canada. There's been a fair bit of that going around the group during the tournament. So yeah, Cole got his opportunity, and obviously on a seriously tough flat wicket with short boundaries, did really well. So yeah, it's good to know that if someone goes down or we have more illness or such later in the tournament, that Coles has actually got his feet on the ground here and managed to get a game in as well, leading into the tournament.
And how did he feel about the fact that he had to fly away from Canterbury, the side that he captains, and then they lose another final, one day final in the weekend?
Um, he didn't like that. The rest of us enjoyed it quite a lot.
Yeah, I imagine. But was it just him and Daryl sitting in a corner going, I can't believe this has happened again?
Yeah, Emmerdale door locked. It was like Jurassic Park. All the lads were going up and down the hallway trying to find them while the final was on. So yeah, like there's a bit of that kind of banter goes on in the group. Canterbury have obviously been a victim of their own success in the last few years of getting to so many finals, but no, there's it was certainly mentioned at breakfast a couple of times.
All right, I tell you who's not going to get to a final, and that is our Anzac brothers from across the Tasman Sea. How do we feel? Is there a certain amount of Schadenfreude from Australia getting knocked out of the competition, or are they someone you wanted to take down?
Um, yeah, I mean it's a tough one, I suppose. Any time a different or another strong team gets knocked out of the tournament, it sort of increases your chances of winning it. So you do, look at the other groups and you're kind of pretty interested when big teams are getting knocked over. So yeah, I think they've had a bit of a struggle, I guess, with injuries. Their big three fast bowlers all being unavailable for the tournament's always going to be a huge knock. But yeah, I think they potentially we're a little bit surprised by conditions with how much it's spinning over here and tournament conditions and in general I think people always expect wickets to be more batter friendly in World Cups than they are, and just with the amount of stress that groundsmen are under to produce multiple wickets in a row, the wear and tear that the grounds are under, obviously the past scores go down quite a bit. So yeah, you had to be prepared for that. And they also had a tough group as well with someone like Zimbabwe, who's obviously their home conditions are quite low and slow and spinny as well. So yeah, potentially just a bit of a perfect storm for them. But yeah, I'm sure they'll come back strong in the next one.
Oh, no doubt. And also, you've got to say, if you were to put your neutral hat on for a second, it's kind of cool, right, to have an upset in a tournament like that.
Oh, absolutely! Like it's what makes world tournaments like these so interesting. I know a few years ago we had a crap little period where World Cups were sort of 10 or 12 teams, and it was just sort of the big boys, and you see teams like Nepal almost upsetting England, and Netherlands or should have really beaten Pakistan as well in their group. So
Mm.
yeah, there were multiple chances for upsets, and yeah, hopefully with the ICC hopefully committing a little bit more to the associate teams in the next cycle, and those upsets can actually be coming to reality in the next few tournaments.
Yeah, now I just want to go back to your point about pitches, because earlier in the tournament, it really was an absolute batter's paradise, and wickets were particularly hard to come by. Now it seems like teams are getting kind of bowled out cheaply. Do you think that is just due to the fact that there's been so many games on these wickets and they're getting worn?
Yeah, absolutely. I think well, it's a tournament of two halves really, with the India side and the Sri Lanka side. I think you also one thing people don't think about is with the multiple games in a day, you've got a lot of 11 a.m., 3 p.m. starts. So the wickets are a little bit tacky in those day games and harder to get momentum through. And there's also the side of it, which is just the pressure of a world tournament where batters aren't feeling as free. I think India are a perfect example when we play them in that 5 match T20 series, and they're basically just coming out and playing a shot to every ball
Mm.
and not too worried about what the consequences are. And if you play a 5 game series and you have one terrible game and get bowled out for 100, it's kind of irrelevant if in the other 4 games you're going well. Whereas in a World Cup, that one game can actually knock you out of the tournament. So there's certainly a little bit more, I suppose, anxiety on batters. They don't feel as free to express themselves, and every tournament that we haven't, especially in the subcontinent, you see a team fall over chasing a small total just purely because of the pressure of I suppose, the external factors. So all of those contribute to that, and then obviously you have bowlers that are at the absolute top of their game. everyone prepares for each other as best as possible. Scouting is at its best. So yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Right now, he had a washout against Pakistan. Look, you're a lot better at this than I am. What does that mean for our chances now of getting through to the semi-finals? Is it basically win every game?
Well, it's gotten now to the point where I mean we could get through with one win from two,
Mhm.
depending on what the results happen in the other games.
So it's
And that
Pakistan, England tonight, right? So who is there one team we want to win more?
um, not particularly. I think the yeah. I mean, if we beat Sri Lanka, then we'll be on 1.5. England. I mean, basically, if one team wins through, and then you don't lose to them as badly as the other team loses to them, then you'll be through.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
Got
it's
it.
sort of like the net run rates. The teams will be even, and then it'll be on net run rate with one team higher. But yeah, it's too early in the group really to be knowing which team that's going to be and how that works. So yeah, we'll be watching that game interestingly, well, intensely tonight. And then yeah, we'll obviously be have our main focus on our game against Sri Lanka tomorrow, and then after that game, hopefully if we can get the win there, then the group will become a lot clearer.
Yeah, you know how when people say when they're at school, they're like, "When am I ever going to use maths?" Did you ever think you would use this much mathematics to work out net run rates and stuff because you were going to always be a professional cricketer?
It's actually incredible. Like you sit in a changing room and the thing is net run rate, and it's just an argument every tournament. You go, oh no, if this happens here, then. But what happens if we bowl them out and like no one kind of it knows what's going on, and then there's actually a guy an Australian fella did a really good YouTube Instagram reel on it a couple of days ago when Australia were trying to still get through from
Yeah,
their
yeah,
group
yeah.
and explained it really well. And there's sort of a few of the lads watch that and sort of, oh, okay. Whereas people go, oh, but how can you win and your net run rate goes down? And then you go, oh god, lads, just bowl your Yorkers, like let's just win as well as we can, and
Yeah.
like the ICC will tell us what the number is at the end of it.
I feel like I don't want to ask you who can't work it out, but I'm pretty sure you and Ben Sears can because Ben Sears is like a genius, right?
Yeah, yeah. So whenever someone's having an argument in the team or a discussion, a lively
Yeah.
discussion, it's like you turn around and you see Cezi like behind the lockers, kind of going, "Oh, I wonder when I can jump in on this argument and tell everyone what the answer is."
Are you worried you're going to go into his room and he's written on the ceiling like a beautiful mind, like you tried to work out Duckworth
Yeah.
Lewis? Yeah.
Well, that's what Shane Jurgensen used to be a beautiful mind when he was our bowling coach. He'd go into his room and all the scouting notes would be, around the corner, like all on the, and there'd be like a handwritten note, and it would just be like, Matthew Wade scoops second ball, or something like,
Wow. Okay.
and it would just be like tacked on the wall next to like the Australian scouting, and you'd go in there and he'd be like, oh yeah, it's been a big couple of days.
Well, you got to do something when you're locked in your hotel rooms, I guess. You may as well drive yourself
Yeah.
insane. I did see a video actually of Daryl Mitchell sort of half tackling Ben Sears, and I'm like, dude, do you know how easily that guy breaks? Can you just leave him alone?
Yeah, well, that was so we've got this game we play in warm ups called Donny Ball, which is Chris Donaldson is our trainer, former Olympian, Commonwealth Games competitor,
Of course, yeah.
and he's invented this game where you basically have three squares and you've got a rugby ball and a football, and you just try to kick it into the other squares.
Okay.
Ben Sears cannot kick a ball into another square. So he's basically now just morphed into he just tries to kick it as hard as he can at other people, and if he hits them, then they're out. So so
Okay.
so Ben's basically trying to injure other guys, and then Daryl's trying to injure him. So we'll see how that eventuates over the next few weeks. But we only play it about once a week, so hopefully just the frequency is low enough that no one gets injured.
Yeah, I mean, he's all limbs. So, I mean, the physics of it means he would have a hell of a kick on him, right?
Yeah, he did kick one yesterday. I think it missed the square by 40 meters.
Okay.
It
Okay.
sort of it was meant to dip and it sort of spiraled upwards and just flew into like the second tier of the stand behind the game where like, that's yeah, you're out.
Who knows? Maybe he's got another career as an AFL player.
I mean, he's got the height
He's got the
and
height.
he's a very, very good runner. An extremely good runner. So
And he's just spent some time in Australia. So there you go.
yeah.
Yeah, who
I
knows?
think the thing he'd struggle with the most would probably be the court session. I think the social drinking side of the game is not really his strength.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm afraid that we might have to talk about some cricket for a second, just to wrap up. But uh, oh, this is all on me. I'm not blaming you. Uh, are there teams to watch now, like, or is it just everybody now that you're in the Super Eights? Because for me, I'm looking. South Africa look very strong. The West Indies have look incredibly strong. And I mean, India has had a hiccup, but they won't be out for long. England as well. I mean, yeah, is it just everyone?
It is just everyone. I think it's a difficult tournament to judge, I guess, because of the reason I mentioned before, with the conditions differing so much between the two countries. Sri Lanka obviously
Mm,
handed India a bit of a pasting the other night, which really throws the cat amongst the pigeons in their group because now India basically have to win out to get through. And there's even scenarios where if West Indies beat South Africa and India win out, they might get knocked out anyway. So
right.
it's an incredibly interesting group on that side. We're obviously one game behind in our group, so today we'll sort of show where our group's heading. But yeah, England are strong. I think South Africa, as you mentioned, are definitely now the number one seed, having won that game against India.
Mm,
But it's going to be interesting. I mean, if Zimbabwe can tip someone up in that group, all of a sudden that throws that even more into turmoil. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a great format for the World Cup because you do have to be on your game for a long period of time. But then, having said that, we're going to get to the semi-finals and anything can happen from there. Anyone can beat anyone on their day. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how the next few days play out.
Yeah, well, you've got the home nation on Thursday morning our time, I believe. So, well, best of luck. I hope everybody is fit, and everybody, their stomachs come right, and Daryl Mitchell tries not to upend anyone. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've done it strategically well, I think, where just everyone's been sick in the first sort of week of the tournament, 2 weeks of the
Oh, yeah,
tournament.
you
So
had it too, didn't you?
hope, oh, yeah, I was, we were discussing hospital for me. It was pretty bad. But yeah, got through and then straight off the back of that, we had 2 day games in Chennai in about 32 degrees heat, which didn't really help me all that much either. So we're pretty happy to get to Sri Lanka where it's
Or
a bit
maybe
more
to help you
breezy and a
sweat it.
few night games.
Maybe it help you sweat it out if that's a thing. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. Well, Sat said after one of the games, he said, you bowled a good first over. I was going to give you a second one. And then I looked over and you looked like you were going to die. so, so I thought I'd give you a few overs to figure things out. And I was like, thanks, mate. Yeah, cheers. It was a
Oh,
bit of
the
a
the
rough little
compassion
period
of the
there.
man. It's good to have a real people's captain, a player's captain like that. That's good.
I took a catch and he came over in the dugout. I came over into the huddle. He put his hands in front of my eyes. He goes, "Are you all good? Like you look like you've been hypnotized." And I was like, "Am I not good?" He goes, "Bro, your eyes are nowhere." And I was like, "Oh, well, at least I caught it."
Yeah, a good point. Well, good to see you fighting fit, and we wish you all the best. Thanks very much for joining us on the Cricketers Network.
Thank you.